your car can last forever. Seriously, $4,500 repairs hide in plain sight. Cracked belts, seized turbos, melted sensors, warped heads, while most owners never notice. Here are 17 habits to make your car last over 500,000 miles without repairs. Habits mechanics pray you never learn. The final trick? It's why my 2005 Accord still runs flawlessly past 562,000 miles. Let's get to it. Habit number 17, the 3K to 5K oil advantage. The 10,000 miles or once a year sticker is only perfect for lab driving, not real life. And real life is where engines die. Traffic jams, short trips, cold starts, hot afternoons, dust, and idle time all break oil down far faster than most drivers realize. The scary part is you won't feel it happening. Oil fails from heat and contamination, and once it weakens, metal rubs and damage is already expensive by the time you hear it. That's why I recommend 3,000 to 5,000 miles. If you drive mostly in the city, stay closer to 3,000 miles. But if most of your miles are on the highway, you can safely push toward 5,000. Many people overlook oil levels, but engines often consume oil silently. Frequent low levels drastically accelerate wear. To reach 500,000 miles, follow 3 rules: keep it clean, keep it full, and change it regularly. Clean oil saves the engine, but the next weak link is the transmission. Habit number 16, transmission preservation routine. There's something manufacturers will never say out loud. By the time a transmission shows symptoms, the damage is already expensive. Transmissions don't fail suddenly. They wear down quietly, while everything still feels okay. That hesitation at a stoplight isn't random. It's friction catching up. Lifetime fluid is not a durability promise. It's a sales phrase. Automatic transmissions typically operate between 175 degrees Fahrenheit and 220 degrees Fahrenheit, and for every 20 degrees Fahrenheit increase, fluid life is cut nearly in half. Heat breaks down additives, reduces lubrication, and lets clutch material and metal particles circulate through the system. Once shuttering, delayed shifts, or slipping begins, rebuilds often start around $4,000 and climb fast. Always perform a drain and fill every 60,000 miles. Hybrids can go as far as 90,000 miles, but no further. If fluid has never been serviced, skip power flushing, drain it, and move on. Use the exact fluid your transmission requires, like Toyota WS or Honda ATFD W1. Substituting with the wrong spec can cause premature failure. A healthy transmission moves power smoothly. But if the engine can't stay cool, none of that matters. Before we do, hit subscribe. I'll give you a second. Done? All right, let's continue. Habit number 15, coolant renewal habit. Coolant doesn't fail loudly. It fails quietly, and that's why engines overheat without warning. The habit here is simple. Treat every coolant warning as a timer, not an annoyance. A coolant clock reset doesn't fix anything on its own. It only clears the message after the real problem is handled. If a red coolant light comes on, stop safely and shut the engine off. Let it cool for 30 to 60 minutes before touching anything. Once cool, check the reservoir level. It should sit between minimum and maximum. If it's low, top up using the exact coolant type specified by the manufacturer. Mixing types causes corrosion and seal damage over time. Most cars reset the warning automatically once the levels are correct and the air is gone. If not, an ignition cycle or an OBD2 scan will clear it. If the warning returns, don't ignore it. Persistent alerts often mean leaks or failing sensors. Coolant keeps temperatures in check, but timing keeps everything in sync. Let's see how that happens. Habit number 14, the timing belt safety window. In my shop, if there's no proof of a timing belt change, it's overdue. Your owner's manual might say 100,000 miles or 10 years, but that number protects the warranty window, not your long-term repair bill. Out in the real world, timing belts live in heat, oil mist, and constant tension. By 60,000 to 80,000 miles, many belts are already drying, cracking, or glazing. Age matters just as much as mileage. I've seen belts snap at 7 years with barely 40,000 miles on them. No noise, no warning, just instant engine damage. On interference engines, a broken belt means pistons and valves collide. That's usually a $4,000 plus repair, sometimes more than the car's value. Replacing the belt early keeps valve timing precise, combustion efficient, and fuel economy stable. And never replace just the belt. Always do the full kit: belt, tensioner, idlers, and water pump. These parts wear together. Once timing is protected, combustion becomes the next battleground. Habit number 13. The strong spark standard. I've seen $60 worth of bad spark plugs cause misfires, dump raw fuel into the catalytic converter, and turn into $3,000 repairs. On paper, many plugs claim 100,000 miles, but real driving tells a different story. Short trips, stop-and-go traffic, turbo heat, and direct injection carbon usually kill them between 60,000 and 70,000 miles. That's the safe window. Pull a plug now and then. A light tan or gray tip is healthy. Black soot, oil, or crust means trouble beyond the plug. Stick with proven brands that match your car: NGK Iridium or Laser Iridium for Japanese vehicles, Denso Iridium TT for hybrids and many imports, Bosch Double Iridium for many European models, Motorcraft or AC Delco OEM for Ford and GM. Fresh plugs keep combustion clean, fuel economy steady, and engines alive for the long haul. Good spark means nothing without clean fuel. If you want your engine to last, hit subscribe for clear, no-nonsense car advice. Habit number 12. The clean fuel flow rule. Most drivers never think about the fuel filter until the car starts acting up, and by then it's already too late. This small, forgotten part decides whether clean fuel reaches your engine or whether dirt slowly grinds it from the inside. I've pulled fuel filters packed with debris like coffee sludge. This contamination restricts flow, overheats the fuel pump, clogs injectors, disrupts combustion, and quietly lowers fuel economy until the car hesitates, stumbles, or stalls without warning. Most vehicles need a new fuel filter every 30,000 to 60,000 miles, though some newer designs can stretch to 100,000 miles. If you drive in dusty areas, tow often, or use poor fuel, change it sooner. Use OEM or name brand filters such as Bosch, Motorcraft, or AC Delco. Cheap filters can break down from ethanol and shed fibers into the system. Replace the filter on time, and the fuel pump, injectors, and engine will last longer. Clean fuel keeps the engine alive. But if you can't stop safely, none of that mileage matters. Habit number 11. Fresh fluid braking rule. Ever pressed the brake pedal and felt it go a little too far before the car slowed down? That moment is usually the first warning that drivers miss. And if your brakes can't stop with confidence, your car won't survive to 300,000, let alone 500,000 miles. Brake fluid is hygroscopic, meaning it absorbs moisture from the air over time. Fresh DOT 3 boils near 401 degrees Fahrenheit and DOT 4 around 446 degrees Fahrenheit, but moisture can drop that below 280 degrees Fahrenheit. That's low enough to boil during hard stops, downhill driving, or stop-and-go traffic. Boiling fluid softens the pedal and increases stopping distance. Old fluid also corrodes parts, leading to costly brake failures. This isn't an upsell, it's prevention. Test the fluid. If moisture is over 3%, flush it, do it every 2 to 3 years, and always use the exact fluid your car specifies. DOT 3, DOT 4, or DOT 5.1. Strong brakes keep high-mile cars alive. Stopping power matters. But the parts that actually carry the load get ignored even more. Habit number 10, the Drivetrain Protection Service. These are 2 parts I watch people forget about all the time, and they always come back to haunt them. The differential and transfer case don't throw warning lights. When their gear oil breaks down, metal starts grinding, bearings wear out, and the first real alert is a tow truck in your mirror. But do you know how easy it actually is to keep these alive? Here's the routine I use in the shop when I want a drivetrain to last. Take a short drive first. Warm fluid drains fully. Cold fluid lies to you. Crack the fill plug before anything else. If it won't come out, stop right there. Pull the drain plug and let it empty completely. No rushing this step. Wipe the magnetic plug clean. Reinstall it, then refill with the exact factory fluid until it just starts to seep out. I've listened to differentials whine for months before finally locking solid. Once that happens, you're not talking maintenance anymore. You're talking thousands. Most need service every 30,000 to 60,000 miles. Sooner if you tow, drive off-road, or use AWD often. The drivetrain handles the load. Now let's talk about pressure building where you can't see it. Habit number 9. The balanced crankcase system. The positive crankcase ventilation, PCV valve, costs very little, but when it fails, it can quietly shorten an engine's life by years. The PCV valve controls pressure inside your engine. Every time you drive, combustion creates gases and moisture that need somewhere to go. A healthy PCV system vents that pressure safely, while a clogged one traps it. When pressure builds, oil gets pushed past seals and gaskets, sludge forms, and oil consumption creeps up without you noticing. I've seen engines burn a quart every 1,000 miles because of a stuck PCV valve. Over time, that pressure damages valve cover gaskets, rear main seals, and even sensors tied to airflow and fuel trim. I tell customers to replace the PCV valve every 30,000 to 50,000 miles. When it fails, you'll feel rough idle, weak acceleration, or see oil leaks and rising oil use. It's a quick, cheap fix that relieves pressure, protects seals, and helps engines reach serious mileage without nasty surprises. Once pressure is controlled, airflow becomes the next silent decision maker. Habit number 8. Accurate airflow habit. If your engine feels off, lazy throttle, rough idle, or mileage slipping, there's a good chance nothing is broken, it's confused. And more often than not, that confusion starts with a dirty mass airflow sensor. The MAF sensor tells the engine computer how much air is coming in. When dust or oil coats it, the computer guesses. Guessing leads to poor fuel mixture, wasted fuel, and slow wear you don't notice until later. That's when codes like P0100, P0101, P0102, P0103, or P0104 start popping up, along with hesitation and uneven power. Use only the MAF sensor cleaner. Brake or carb cleaner will ruin it. A can cost about $10, while a new sensor can cost $150 to $400. Disconnect the battery, clean the sensor, and let it dry. Warning: never touch the wires. If idle smooths out and throttle feels crisp, you nailed it. Do this every 12,000 to 15,000 miles to keep your engine happy long term. Clean air keeps the engine happy. But how you refuel can quietly undo all of that. Habit number 7. The one-click discipline. Topping off after the pump clicks is a bad habit that's costing drivers thousands every year. The pump already told you to stop. Ignoring it isn't clever, it's careless, and your car pays the price later. Modern fuel systems are sealed and rely on the evap system to handle fuel vapors, not liquid gas. When you top off, raw fuel gets pushed into the charcoal canister. Once that canister is soaked, it's done. No warning, just a check engine light and a repair bill that can hit $500 to $1,200. Overfilling also messes with fuel trims, hurts mileage, and causes rough idle after fill-ups. And no, you're not gaining real range. Gas expands with heat, and the empty space in the tank is there on purpose. The habit is simple: fuel until it clicks, then stop, walk away. That one decision protects the evap system, avoids false codes, and keeps your car running clean for the long haul. And if you want to see just how many refueling mistakes drivers make without realizing it, check out my video on things not to do before refueling. Habit number 6. The rolling resistance control. If your tires are out of alignment, you're quietly grinding your car to death every single mile. You may not feel it right away, but the damage is happening. When alignment is off, tires scrub instead of roll. That uneven pressure chews through tread fast, forces the suspension to fight itself, and makes the engine work harder just to move the car straight. That's how good tires die early. Fuel economy drops, and steering parts wear out long before their time. A proper alignment keeps all 4 tires tracking straight and sharing the load evenly. That means longer tire life, less stress on ball joints, tie rods, wheel bearings and shocks, and a car that feels planted instead of nervous. It also improves braking and control when you actually need it. Get an alignment every 6 months or about 6,000 to 10,000 miles. Do it anytime you hit a hard pothole, clip a curb, feel pulling, or install new tires. Tires take the abuse up top, but what about the real damage that often starts underneath? Habit number 5. Rust prevention routine. Your car doesn't rust from the top down, it rots from the bottom up. Road salt, mud, sand, and grime stick to the undercarriage and hold moisture against bare metal. Over time, that moisture eats away at brake lines, suspension mounts, exhausts, and even the frame. Regular undercarriage washing stops rust early by removing salt and grit. It keeps suspension parts moving freely and prevents seized bolts, snapped brake lines, and costly failures later. So what's regular? Once a month is the bare minimum. If you live where roads are salted, drive near the coast, or hit dirt roads often, every 2 weeks is smarter. Always wash after snow, mud, or off-roading. Use a car wash with an underbody spray or a pressure washer at home. While you're there, look for leaks or rust starting early. Keeping the underside clean gives your car a fighting chance to age slowly instead of fall apart. Let's switch things up to the way stress attacks your car. Habit number 4. Handbrake first routine. Every time you park, you're either protecting your transmission or slowly abusing it without realizing. Most drivers stop, drop the car straight into park, and walk away. On flat ground, you get away with it. On hills, the entire vehicle rolls slightly until it slams against a tiny metal piece inside the transmission called the parking pall. That clunk you feel when you shift out of park later is that metal taking a hit. If you do this daily, wear builds up fast as the parking pall and mounts take unnecessary stress and shifts grow rougher. The better habit is simple. Stop fully, set the handbrake first, let the car settle, then shift into park so the brakes, not the transmission, carry the load. Now the brakes hold the weight, the gearbox stays relaxed, and the car releases smoothly every time. It takes 2 extra seconds, but over years of parking, especially on slopes, it removes thousands of stress cycles from the drivetrain. If you want smooth shifts at 300,000 miles, always use the handbrake when parking first. Parking habits matter. So does how you treat the engine the moment it wakes up. Habit number 3. The gentle warm-up method. If you start your car and immediately floor it, you're basically asking cold metal to sprint before it can even stretch. Engines hate that. When an engine is cold, the oil is thick and slow. It hasn't reached all the tight spaces yet. At the same time, metal parts are still contracted. Revving hard in that moment forces dry, tight components to move fast under load. That's where long-term wear begins. I've torn down high-mileage engines, and you can always tell which ones were abused cold. That kind of wear builds slowly over thousands of cold starts, leaving scored cylinders and worn bearings behind. The smarter habit is simple. Start the engine, wait 30 to 60 seconds for oil pressure to build, then drive gently. Keep revs under 3,500 RPM until the temperature gauge starts to rise. You don't need to baby it, just don't rush it, and let the engine warm up as you drive. Treat cold starts with patience, and your engine will reward you with a longer life. Cold starts cause damage. Letting the engine idle too long finishes the job. Habit number 2. Drive, not idle approach. Every minute your car sits there idling, it's aging without moving an inch. No warning lights or drama. Just quiet wear building up every minute it idles. At idle, Oil pressure drops just enough to starve lifters, cams, and seals. If you do it daily, the quiet ticks will cause real damage, often $1,500 repairs from nothing but warming it up. Idling also burns fuel poorly. Unburnt fuel washes oil off cylinder walls and thins the oil in the pan. On direct injection engines, carbon builds fast. That turns into a $700 to $1,200 intake cleaning later. Do it this way instead. Start the engine, give it 45 to 60 seconds, then drive off gently. Modern engines warm up faster and cleaner under light driving than they ever will sitting still. If you're stopped longer than a minute, shut it off. 1 hour of idling can equal tens of thousands of miles of engine wear over time. If you want 500,000 miles, don't let your engine age in park. Once maintenance is tracked, a few small habits can quietly protect everything else. Habit number 1, the maintenance memory system. At times, cars don't fail because you're careless. They fail because life gets busy, one service gets missed, and the bill shows up long after you forgot why. That's why the highest mileage cars I see all have one thing in common: a maintenance log. Without it, coolant flushes, brake fluid changes, and timing belt ages all turn into guesses. When you don't track it, things get skipped. Fluids age past their limits, and belts run longer than they should. Small services also turn into four-figure repairs that could have been avoided with a simple note. A maintenance log doesn't need to be fancy. A glove box notebook works, or a free app like Carfax Car Care, Drivo, or Simply Auto. Just log the service date, mileage, and what was done. And here's the bonus most people miss. A clean service history boosts resale value, protects warranties, and saves time at the shop because no one has to guess. If you want a car to reach 500,000 miles, track everything, and that wraps up the core habits. Now here are bonus habits that are mostly overlooked. Bonus number 2, the clean power connection. Dirty battery terminals and weak grounds cause more damage than most drivers expect. Poor connections drop voltage and confuse sensors. Modules strain, alternators work harder, and that leads to hard starts and random warning lights. Cleaning terminals and grounds once or twice a year helps keep voltage steady and electronics stable. Stable power helps the engine, transmission, and charging system work properly. That prevents misdiagnosed problems and quiet electrical stress that shortens a car's life long before the miles show it. Bonus number 1, early noise detection. We've all done it. You hear a squeak, a click, or a clunk, and you turn the music up. That sound is a warning. A brake squeal often means pads or rotors, usually $300 to $600 if fixed early. Clicking while turning is often a CV joint, $400 to $900 before it fails. Engine knocking can mean timing or valve train trouble, often $1,500 or more. Most big repairs start as small noises. Listen early and your car keeps going. Now that you know the habits that push cars past 500,000 miles, you're ahead of most drivers. But there's one more crucial factor many still miss. In my next video, I reveal 17 secrets that make cars forever. Check it out.